Right now, just 4% of students entering high school in South Los Angeles are graduating from college. For us, that's unacceptable.
When the California budget crisis hit, we lost out on a key source of funding known as class size reduction. New and growing charters didn't have access to this pool of funding.
In essence, we lost about $200,000 from the state. So to make up for that, we had to increase our class sizes from 5 classes of 20 to 4 classes of 28. However, we didn't want to have that adversely affect the quality of education our students received.
We had to come up with a new and innovative way to provide high-quality education to our children here in South Los Angeles.
So we chose to adopt the blended learning model for our kids. Blended learning means that our students both learn from the teachers as well as from the computers to make sure our students are in small groups for the 4 core content areas.
Our blended learning model has 3 configurations. During science and writing, half of the class rotates between the lead teacher and the computers. In reading, we divide the class into 3 groups that rotate between 2 teachers and a computer station. During math, the class is divided between 2 teachers who may utilize the computers for additional support. This allows the classrooms to have 2 adults in the room for most of the day and ensures a 14-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio or better.
I didn't know what small group instruction was before I came to KIPP. It was always having a class of 30 to 35 kids and kind of teaching to the middle, hoping that the high kids don't get too bored and the low kids kind of catch up.
So the small group instruction really allows us to differentiate our lesson plans for the students no matter what their needs are. They're rotating in specific centers and stations, as well as small groups with their teachers, be it an intervention teacher or even their classroom teacher.
Keeping computers inside the classroom rather than utilizing a separate computer lab is also critical to providing a cohesive learning environment. The computers can be utilized throughout the day in various subjects as needed. This model ensures that the students working on the computers are integrated in the classroom setting with their teachers and classmates.
The technology in the classroom serves 3 roles. First, it frees up the teachers to work with small groups. Second, it develops the students' 21st century skills. Third, because it uses adaptive technology, it will zoom the students forward if they're accelerating, and it'll cycle back if they're struggling.
The computers are not intended to replace the teacher. They're intended to focus our attentions better and more systematically on what are the needs of each of our individual children.
They come in a lot of times not having any experience with a computer. I teach them how to log in and how to develop basic computer skills.
By having our students rotate on and off the computers throughout the day and working in small groups with their teachers, they're receiving a much better education and they're loving the learning process. One of our challenges that we face is that there's not one content provider that has enough content for our students in reading, writing, math, and science. So we had to choose from different content providers. The problem that posed for us is that we would have students having to log on to different websites and learning different usernames and passwords, and that would be very challenging for primary age students to do. So we had to create the Launchpad. The students click on the teacher's picture, they click on a picture of themselves, they click on a picture password, and it zooms them into the Launchpad.
Within 2 weeks, they have memorized their usernames, they can type in their passwords, they feel completely comfortable.
The computer was new for my son, and now I see more enthusiasm getting on the computers.
They really show a lot of pride in their accomplishments. You see them kind of singing and dancing because they're having fun learning.
When you introduce technology such as iPads, a student with special needs can really easily access a lesson on their own.
If a child needs help with phonemic awareness or rhyming, they can sit down and play a game on the iPad, and they're having a lot of fun using them.
The teacher dashboard collects data of how the students are doing from the various software programs the students are using in reading, math, writing, and science. It also collects data of how the students are doing from their in-class quizzes. So we have in one location all of the data of how the students are doing by standard, by skill, and it makes it very easy for teachers to look through and see how the students are progressing in each of their areas.
This allows us to identify where students are struggling or falling behind.
So if a particular child is having trouble with recognizing letter sounds, I can find that in the data even if I haven't picked up on it in class.
Data really informs which students go into which groups.
This also helps us modify our lessons in order to support their individual needs based on this data.